welcome to episode 4 of Church Lady Knits. My name is Kristen, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as hookandgauge. And the show notes for this podcast, as well as previous episodes, can be found at www.hookandgauge.blogspot.com. I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you've had a good month since last I podcasted. And oh gosh, I'm telling you, I keep trying to make it 2 weeks and it just won't happen. I actually filmed this last weekend and then just never got around to uploading it, editing it, and so forth. So hopefully this will make it onto YouTube. And yeah, it's been crazy. I love autumn. It's my favorite season of the year, but it's not my favorite season at work. It just gets a little bit busier and a little bit crazier and a little bit more stressful. So anyway, and then you have the holidays and all that stuff, which are wonderful, but they do add their own level of stress. So I hope you all are well. Like I mentioned, I tried to film this last weekend, or I did film it, I just didn't upload it. I actually tried to film twice yesterday. I thought I had a good take of it, and it was a very scattered episode. And of course it is autumn here in Raleigh, and so the sun is starting to set a little bit sooner, and just because of craziness, I waited too late in the day. And it's still kind of dark. It's been quite overcast here. It's finally cooler and a bit crisper today than it has been. Yesterday was quite muggy and humid and just gross, and today there's a crispness in the air, so today feels a lot better. I'm trying to think if there's anything super exciting since last we spoke. In terms of non-knitted things. One kind of weird, unfortunate thing, I think I've fully been inducted into corgi ownership. Last night I took the dog out for a walk, and corgis are known for their stubborn streak. So he decided when we got to this one stretch, it's always sort of the same 2 areas, he sort of gets stuck. So he'll just stop walking. And it's not because he's tired. It's not because he's hurt or anything. He's just stubborn, and he just decides, I don't want to walk, so I'm just going to stand here. And the best way to get him moving again is to jog, like break into a light jog. And so, and I've done that so many times with him, and we kind of got to the second spot where he gets stuck, and he had been so stubborn through the walk, and I really needed him to walk and get some of his crazies out. He had already used the bathroom, so I knew it wasn't that. So I just thought, I'll just jog this whole straight. And I've jogged with him before, and it has not been a big deal. But this time, we're jogging along, and all of a sudden he decides, I guess, that he wants to go another direction. So he cut in front of me. I went flying over him and ended up sprawled out flat on the concrete. So they're not really battle wounds. They're not at all. I mean, they hurt, but it's not like I broke anything, thankfully. So I have some nice road rash on my hand, which is super awesome. And I won't show you my knee because it's pretty gnarly, but I got a nice size scrape, tore the newish pair of jeans that I had. Yay! So thankfully I don't buy super expensive jeans, so I'll just have to go by Target and get some more at some point this week. But anyway, I am talking about you. He's laying over here in the chair staring at me, probably like, why is this woman talking to an iPad on a music stand? This is very weird. So anyway, I hope you all are well. I hope you're not injured. And I hope you're enjoying fall. Again, I love this season. It's just such a nice, cozy time. Raleigh has not been it's pretty. It's definitely pretty. It's still prettier than Dallas. But our leaves, it's very interesting. This year, I feel like the minute they turn, they fall off the tree. Like, they have not really stayed on the tree much at all. And I know that rain and things like that have to do with the foliage changing and the colors and their duration. But I just feel like we've kind of, like, you'll get one really pretty day with a tree, and then all leaves fall off. So it has been a pretty fall, but not as gorgeous as it has been previously. So, because normally, like this time of year, we still have a lot of really good full fall foliage, and we already have a lot of bare trees already. It's kind of crazy. So anyway, that was a weird tangent. But again, I hope you're well. I hope if you're in the States, you're gearing up for Thanksgiving. I know I can't wait to be home in Texas again. So I'm really excited about that. I feel like my whole like year now is like revolves around counting down to when I get to go back to Texas. I've pretty well decided I'm going to end up back in Texas. I love North Carolina. It's a great state, but it's just so far away from family and friends. And even if I don't live in Dallas, I think it would still be nicer to at least be in a more drivable place. I am not driving home for Thanksgiving. I'm flying, but I am driving home for Christmas, which is a good 17-hour trip. I'm taking the dog, and it should be really interesting. I think this will be an easier time. I drove home in April for Easter, like the week after Easter. And for starters, I'm taking off more time from work, so I'll have a full 7 days in Dallas, whereas I had sort of like only 5 full days last time. Like I got in on a Sunday, and then I guess I had 6 days. I got in on a Sunday, and then I left the following, or no, I got in on a Monday and left the following Sunday. So yeah, I really only had 5 full days. So here I'll have 7 full days in Dallas, which should be really nice, because I'm planning on getting in on a Monday and not leaving until the following Tuesday. So we can only hope, right? And so those of you who have dogs, you may not be interested, but here's the beautiful thing about Instagram. Not only is it super inspiring for your knitting projects, but I follow a bunch of corgis on Instagram, and it sounds so stupid when I say it aloud now, but they're so fun. The ones that I follow primarily, the ones that I love following are Ralph. It's Ralph the corgi. He is really active on Facebook. His owner is very active on Facebook. Ralph and his brother George, and she had posted some photos of them in like on a road trip, and they had this really cool looking car carrier that was like the back is like L-shaped, and it has a dome on the front, so it fits perfectly in your back seat. With Rory, for the first leg, I had his tiny little travel crate that doesn't have enough room for him to like lay down. And so for the second leg on the way to Dallas, I put his big old clunky crate in the back seat, which snagged some of my cloth upholstery, but also it just wasn't very secure. So this particular carrier that they use is called the K&H, so letter K and H, letter H, dog carrier. And you can get it on Amazon, and I'm planning on buying one. So I will let you all know. Not that you all care about that, but I will let you know if that ends up working out. It's apparently buckle it in, and you can secure it. Like the top has a strap that goes over the headrest, so it stays really secure. And it comes in a pretty large size, so I'm planning on getting the one that'll take up half of my back seat, so he'll have lots of room. Dog parenting, I am one of those people. So, but anyway, I again hope you all are well. I think I've said that 6 times, but it's okay. I mean it. I really mean it. Today I just have some coffee. Sundays are kind of, I have a very small coffee maker, but they're 2-pot coffee days. I think that ends up being about 4 cups, like actual measuring cups of coffee, which is still well within the healthy range. So we'll hang on to that, right? I have some coffee to wake myself up. And we're going to jump into some fun, exciting things. I have a few finished objects. I have some works in progress. I have some planning things and a very small stash enhancement, which is kind of related to works in progress. And then I'm going to show you some planning things. I already said that. And then we'll do a little update on the shop, which I'm really excited about. So let's get started. I first will show you some crochet stuff. I've become kind of obsessed with making like accessories, crochet, like kitchen home accessories. Like I mentioned in the last podcast, my mother loves crochet dishcloths, and there have been some requests from other people for crochet dishcloths. So I made some more of these. This again is my favorite crochet dishcloth. This is I think it's called the scalloped crochet dishcloth, and I will link it in the show notes, which will be linked below. And what I really like about this dishcloth is that it gives you this nice little scallop edging. My recommendation is, in the pattern it tells you to chain 40 stitches. I would do 50, and you're going to work it the same, sort of. What you're going to do when you chain 50, instead of starting the stitches in every third chain or every fourth chain, you're going to do it in every fifth chain. The reason being, because see, you have this really nice scallop here on the edge and on all the edges except for the foundation row. It's really straight. So if you chain 50 or even 60, you will get kind of more of an actual scallop. I chained 40 here so you can see it's pretty straight. This is worked up in Bernat Handicrafter. I think this is Sea Spray. And another tip for dishcloths is if you soak them, you can either use plain water or I use some of my wool wash, which I can't really smell in this, but if you soak them, one will help the fiber bloom, sort of like how when you soak woolen knits and it helps the stitches lay straight and it kind of helps the fiber bloom up a bit, but also it will help, it may not completely remove the sizing, but just like fabric, commercial cotton yarn has like a sizing agent in it, which makes it look a little more sleek and not so frizzy, like my hair is being right now. And so when you soak it, it removes some of that sizing agent, which means that the recipient of the dishcloth can use it pretty much immediately. So I have another one of those in this really nice kind of charcoal gray color. And these are my favorite dishcloths. I've made some of the nubby ones, which I like, but the problem is the gauge is so tight on it that when they get wet and when you wash them in the dryer, they just shrink up to nothing. Whereas those, the lacy pattern is still open enough. It still gives you a nice size dishcloth. The other thing with the nubbies I have found is that they don't really make a huge difference, I find. Because once the dishcloth is wet, they all kind of flatten out anyway. So anyway, take it for what it's worth. So those are great and they work up really fast. I also made 2 more trivets. This is the trivet whose front I showed you last time. I finally finished it. And I also soaked this one, so the back is really nice and solid looking. You can barely see where the rounds are joined. This is the cluster flower pot holder. Flower cluster? I think it's a cluster flower. Really easy pattern. The only thing, as evidenced by this one that I made secondly, you have a lot of ends to weave in. Lots of ends, which is not my favorite thing. But what you do is you make the front, then you make the back, and then you do all of this chaining, including your little handle for hanging at the end. So that's pretty cool. So yay! But yeah, it looks good. I have some. I'm going to take one of these ends and sort of secure this hanger a little bit better. It's just kind of gotten stretched out. This one has not been soaked yet, so you can see, especially like here where the join is, you can see where that is. I am not as crazy about this one. I was going to be making this for a guy who I know would not care about the scallop edge. He'd be fine with that, but it's a little more shabby chic looking, so I think I'm going to give this to somebody else. But yeah, my plan is to make coordinating dishcloths that go with these, and I need to make up a few more. So that is the extent of my crochet. I really need to get working on that because I need to have some of that done a little earlier than Christmas so I can give it as gifts. Hey, Rory. Rory. So I've got my dog out running around, and he is, of course, getting into all manner of things he should not be getting into. I think he's like smelling something that might be underneath the carpet. Oh boy. Anyway, so that is it for the crochet projects. I do have a half-finished object. So I'm going to get it on one of these. Spoiler, it's a sock. I finished my very first sock. It's so exciting. I'm really excited about it. And it is Susan B. Anderson's How I Make My Sock pattern. And this cuff got a little stretched out, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, sorry about that. We had a small dog temper tantrum, but anyway, I was talking about my sock. Again, it's just Susan B. Anderson's How I Make My Socks pattern. Magic loop, cuff down, patent croy, blue rag stripes, just a plain stitch, slip stitch heel. and the cuff is a little baggy. I kept trying it on to make sure it was going to fit, but also this particular sock blocker is the Bry Spun small size, which I think is technically for children. I have very small feet, so the length is perfect for my foot. I wear a women's size 5.5, but I think the cuff is a little, like the leg is a little small, but really happy with how this has turned out. And that kind of leads us into works in progress. Let's see here, I'll grab my bag. I have worked quite fastidiously on the second sock to ward off second sock syndrome. And I was really hoping I could get a pair of identical socks, but the second skein of the Patton's Croy was actually wound in reverse, it seems. So as you can see here, on the first sock it went from orange to red to navy, and on this one it's going the opposite, from orange to yellow to light blue. So, but the cool thing is that the stripes, while they are different colors, completely line up, which is really neat. So this sock is ready to be what's the word I'm looking for, to have its heel flap knit. So that is what I'm going to be working on here pretty soon. And the reason why I have not yet knit the heel flap is because I actually cast on another pair of socks, and I thought that I would get them all to the same place. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Rory. He's being very ornery today. Hopefully he'll calm down here in a minute. Rory, calm down, buddy. It's okay. So I cast on a second pair of socks, which also sort of, this all ties together, leads into a small stash enhancement. But I guess it's not really stash anymore because it's already on the needles. So I knew I wanted to make another pair of socks, and I wanted to make a pair in like a really nice kind of rich variegated colorway. And so I went to my local yarn shop, which is Warm and Fuzzy in Cary, and Kemper of Junk Yarn has talked about it on her podcast. Mari of Mari Knits is a teacher there pretty regularly, so it's a pretty cool, pretty neat place. And I picked up a skein of this Fido Designs yarn, and this is their Chaussette base in the Blackberry Bramble colorway. And the Chaussette base is a 2-ply fingering weight, and it's 80/20 merino nylon, and you get 398 yards per 100 grams. So I love this colorway. This is how it looks knitted up. And what I wanted to do was, Danny of Little Bobbins has talked about this, where you concurrently knit socks. And so I picked up the skein of Fido, and then I picked up 2 sets of Chowgu red lace US ones, because that seems to be my magic needle size. And so I'm knitting them concurrently. So here's the first one. It is, again, using Susan B. Anderson's How I Make My Socks recipe. Has 3/4 of an inch of rib, and then this one I actually made a 6-inch cuff, so this part measures 6 inches. And the reason being, my gauge is a little looser with this one. I probably could have gotten away with some zeros or decreasing the stitch count. I still like the fabric that it makes, so I might not have. I don't know that zeros would have done anything better. That might have been too tight, but it is a bit of a slicker wool than the Pattons, so I think that might have something to do with it. But I thought a 6-inch cuff might help because it would cause it to fall a little higher up on the leg, on a wider part of the leg. But I really love how this yarn is knitting up. Hopefully you can see that. It's just really nice. Beautiful variegation, no noticeable pooling. It's really, really nice. I like it a lot. It's very soft, but still has some good structure to it from the nylon, so that is quite nice. And the second sock, so this one is ready for a heel flap, so it's in the waiting room. And then this is what I have on the, push these over to the needles so maybe you can see a little better. This is what I have done on the second sock. So I'm going to get this one down to 6 inches, and then I will get all 3 socks, these 2 plus the Patton's Croy one, get the heel flaps done. So I'm hoping that that helps keep second sock syndrome at bay. And also it'll help me not forget things like turning the heel. I just can turn all 3 heels at one time and it'll be good. So that's the plan anyway. And these 2 are living in one of my favorite bags, my Homespun House bag, the Featherweight, and I love this bag. It's perfect for socks, completely perfect for socks. So those are my socks. It was a good Socktober. I started all of those socks before the month of November began, so I guess that does count, right? I think it counts. So anyway, the last work in progress I want to show you, move these out of the way, is my Georgetown cardigan. And I've been giving it a little bit of love, not as much love as I should. It's in one of my big sweater bags, so lots of room in here. I just transferred it to a proper sweater bag today. It just outgrew a shawl size bag. This, of course, is the Georgetown by Hannah Fettig, and it's in her Home and Away collection, which is one of her newer collections. And I am working this up in some gifted yarn, yarn that was gifted to me. It's Lion Brand Wool Ease in the Forest Green Heather colorway. And this is kind of what it looks like in the ball. And I have to say, I think I've said this a few times, it's working up really nicely. I have one side done. I'm currently working the back up, and then there's the other side that's just waiting. Part of the reason why I've been stalling on this, and it might be an error, I haven't gone and looked at any sort of errata pages for this particular cardigan, but in the pattern, she says, you know, once you're done with the body and you've split for the armholes, you know, it says, okay, continue working on the left side. Well, that's perfect. Like, you're ready for a wrong side row on the left panel. And then she has you go, like, you bind off all the stitches, and then I'm assuming you cut the yarn. And then she says, okay, now you're ready for a wrong side row on the right panel, but you're not ready for a wrong side row. The way that the needles are positioned, you're not ready for a wrong side row. So, but you are ready for a wrong side row for the back. So I figured, since everything is going to be bound off and seamed anyway, that I would just work it in the order that I thought it needed to be worked in, which is the back, which is the left panel, the back piece, and then the right. So I just thought that that would work out a little bit better. And this, of course, has corgi hair all over it. It's a magnet for the corgi hair, and he was up sniffing it a few moments ago. So, but it's a pretty nice long cardigan. I think that this will block a little bit, maybe not as much as like a Quince & Company wool, but I think with some pinning and encouragement, it should block okay. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm, again, a little nervous about seaming and picking up stitches, but my plan is, once I get the back and the other side done, I am going to give it a soak and a very light block, only to kind of get all those edges straightened out so I can more easily see where I need to pick up stitches for the sleeves. And also, there's a really wide ribbed lapel that runs down the side and the back, and so I'll have to pick up all those stitches as well. But I think YouTube has got me covered on videos on how to do that. We can only hope. Yay! So, let's see, what am I going to show you next? Planning stuff. So I have great, ambitious plans, and I can't decide what I'm going to cast on next. I have 2 shawls. Hang on, I'm going to grab some of this and move it a little closer to me. Everything has to be very precariously perched up high so the dog doesn't get it, because he loves nothing more than to tear up yarn. He just finds it so much fun. And his owner does not find it so much fun. So, anyway, I have got 2 shawls that I want to cast on equally, and I don't know which one to do first. The first would be the Traveling Woman shawl, and this is by Liz Abenante. It's probably like Abenant or something, and I'm making it sound very fancy, but it's really pretty. Sort of a leafy lace pattern, kind of like scallopy looking leaves. I don't know if you can see that. I hope that I'm putting this in frame. You can see that there. And what I like about it is that she has this in a bunch of different sizes for different weights. So she's got lace fingering, sport / DK, and worsted. And she has an extra small, small, medium, large, and an extra large. So I am planning on using this yarn. This is Hedgehog Fibers Monarch. And it's their sock base. So it's kind of a peachy orange with big splashes of black and orange and even a little bit of hot pink. So it's really, really pretty. And I've seen a few shawls made out of this on Ravelry, and I just liked how it worked up. And I especially like, I like how it looks in garter, and there's of course a nice little garter section on there. So I'm thinking about doing this for the traveling woman. The other shawl, which I'm sure some of you have seen floating around, is about a year overdue. But this is the Balsam Hollow Shawl by Paula Emmons Feasley. It came out with the Little Skein and the Big Wool Anne of Green Gables kit last autumn. Let me see if I can find a good picture of it. That front picture is okay. It has also kind of a lacy motif. To me, they're kind of similar, sort of. So I don't know. I don't know which one to start. And of course, that one I'll be using the yarn from the kits, which is how I store my yarn. I put a giant bobby pin on the outside to keep the ends from unraveling. This is from Leading Men Fiber Arts in the callback base, which is a sport superwash merino, and it is in the Green Gables colorway. So I love Leading Men Fiber Arts. I say I love Leading Men Fiber Arts. This is the only yarn I have from them. I have 2 balls of this. But I just drool all the time over their dye jobs. I think they're so nice. They're like the masters of tonal colors, I think. I think they do a really, really good job. So those are my 2 shawl options. If you all have any input on which one you think I should do first, let me know. I'm tempted to do Balsam Hollow since it's been about a year since I ordered that kit. It was sometime around now, a year ago, when I ordered that kit. So I'm tempted to do that one. The last sort of thing I would like to do is on the old Hook and Gauge podcast that I had, one of the last things I showed on there was, a really, not a large Felici order, but a good size Felici order when they re-released select colors of the Felici. And so I scored, I think it was like 6 now. Was it 6 skeins or 8 skeins? I think it was 6. But I got 6 skeins of the new Felici releases, and this one is Teacup, which is really pretty. At the time, before I had gotten some Felici Boutique off of a D-stash, it kind of reminded me of Boutique a little bit. So I want to make some of Jane Richmond's Linden mitts. I have no mittens. I have gloves, but I have no mittens. And I have some time because even though it does get cold here in December, the real winter does not set in until January and February. That's when we get all of our ice and ridiculousness, and I think that these would be nice and super warm for that. And it is a good strong yarn. It's merino nylon. I just think these would be so nice for the Linden mitts. So again, this is Teacup, and it's the discontinued Felici base. So, and this is fingering weight. It's not Felici Sport. So anyway, that's kind of it for the knitting and the finished objects and the planning. If you're not interested in shop things, that is totally okay. Ooh, wait, hold on. I want to show you all one more thing. Oh no, I don't know that I have it with me. Hold on, let me see. And you may not want to stick around for this either. One last little thing I had for acquisitions. Oh no, do I not have it with me? Anyway, I was going to share with you all. I was very good when I went and picked up that other skein of yarn. I got another little retractable tape measure. And so cute. Anyway, and I don't have it over here. Shoot. But you should check out a company called All About the Buttons. They have a Zibbet store, S-I-B-B-E-T, or Z-I-B-B-E-T, and they make these adorable fabric-covered retractable tape measures. And I had one that had mushrooms all over it, and I still use it. And I decided that was my only splurge purchase. It wasn't even really a splurge. It was under $10, but, you know, I mean, you can buy really cheap ones that are not decorated at the craft store, but you know, sometimes you just need something fun while you knit. So, oh dear, I better move some of this yarn. The dog has come over to investigate. But I just thought I wanted something to put in some of my other project bags because I use those all the time. So check out all about the buttons at the Exhibit store. Rats, I thought I had that over here. This is what happens when you podcast multiple times or try to film multiple times. You forget what you've shown and what you haven't shown. So anyway, that is it for the knitting sort of portion. And as I was saying before, if you're not interested in Shop Update, that's totally fine. We'll see you next time, which hopefully will not be long from now. But if you are interested, I am hoping to do an update pretty regularly from now until Christmas. I am really bad about doing lots and lots and lots of sewing, and then I update, and then I don't do anything for a while. So I'm trying to get better about doing smaller, more frequent updates. So I have been busy cutting and sewing and getting ready for Christmas, which is so crazy to me to even be saying out loud. And I have some bags to show you. These are not finished. They all have their zippers in and their little tags on the inside, but I need to like sew them up. And I'm going to also show you all in this stack the Christmas bags, or the holiday bag, I should say. So these are the sock sizes. I have not finished sewing up the sweater sizes yet. So there's going to be some llamas, or not sweater sizes, shawl sizes. My goodness. It was a very rambly episode. So here's some llamas. There will be some sloths and some iguanas. Super cute. There will be, hey buddy, there will be some newsprint. Some hedgehogs in scarves. I just love these guys. They're so cute. Sort of a whimsical forest scene. A birch forest with some little woodpeckers. Kind of a nondescript winter one. We have a polar bear and a sea lion and little penguins. I think the sea lion is my most favorite on there. Some igloos. And then we have some of our holiday ones. I've got one for Hanukkah. I love this fabric. It reminds me of really neat kind of geometric stained glass. So really beautiful menorahs, kind of a stained glass feel. And that one has, I don't know if you probably can't even see that in this low light, but the gold is a little bit reflective. We have Letters to Santa, which is really fun. Kind of a retro Christmas color scape. We have little bicycles with Christmas trees in the basket. And snow, little snow flurries, and a really nice little green contrasting fabric that's been pieced on there. Love this. It's snow globes from around the world. So there's Hollywood, San Francisco, New York, I think Tokyo. Yeah, Tokyo's up here in this corner. I think Paris is also on there. I don't see Paris on this one. Oh, Nashville's on here. But Paris is on one of them. We have, I'm calling this sort of maybe not as traditional Christmas fabric, but this is going to be Christmas Picnic. So pretty. These kind of look like poinsettias, but they're 5 points, so we're going to go with that. And then this one's really cute. This one, I think I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. I don't know if it's going to be like a highball Christmas, but they're basically like highball or tumbler drinking glasses. So, my favorite is this little Santa guy over here. I think he's really cute. So yeah, those are at least a representation of the bags that will be in the shop. Again, these are the sock sizes, so there will be shawl sizes, which this is one of my older bags, but they're about this size. So a really good size. You can fit a small sweater in there, children's things, that kind of thing. Maybe 2 pairs of socks in one of those. I did not do any sweater size bags in this set. There are still lots of sweater bags. in the shop. I will be doing a sale probably this week or next week on the Halloween bags, and then there will be a sale on the fall fabric bags. Maybe either, if not the week of Thanksgiving, maybe on like Cyber Monday, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving. So I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you'll go check those out. And yeah, so hopefully this episode gets up. It sort of is the episode that doesn't want to happen. But until next time, I hope you have a great productive time of knitting, and we'll see you later.